On December 14th, Rap TV reported, breaking, Gunna set to be released from prison after pleading guilty to racketeering and team charges. A few hours later, we saw court footage of what seems to sound like Gunna snitching on YSL and Young Thug.
You agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in front of
Yes, ma'am.
you were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
If you're a fan of Young Thug, leave a like on the video. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Before that court footage that you just watched was released, Gunna released a statement on social media stating, "While I've agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, and have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way." Now, while Gunna's statement makes the video of him saying "yes ma'am" 10 times to admitting YSL is a variety of things, being a street team, and that YSL does illegal activities, it makes everything very confusing, as it almost seems like he is definitely snitching. But it wasn't until the next day where in the courtroom, YSL kingpin Young Thug was set for a court hearing. It was during this court hearing where Young Thug was told the news of Gunna pleading guilty to several charges, and practically revealing to the courtroom and judge that YSL does a lot of street activities. From looking at these photos, Young Thug looks very worried, scared, and concerned for the future of the YSL case. Now, it's very clear who the feds and the judge want. They want Young Thug and Young Thug only, as during this recent court hearing, it was just revealed there is 300 new witnesses and snitches against the rap group YSL, including head honcho Young Thug having many snitches against him. As it was announced in court documents, and I quote, "The state says it will be calling 300 witnesses during the YSL trial. It may require 3.5 months. Judge Glanville thinks it will take longer." Now, this YSL trial will not be beginning soon. Allegedly, out of the 300 members that are snitching, roughly 25 of them are snitches, and the rest are crime witnesses as well as experts on determining on how certain crimes were committed. In other words, the prosecutors are using all of the funding resources they have to make sure that Young Thug is in prison for the rest of his life, as the plea deal that Gunna just signed the other day for his release from prison was not offered to Young Thug. Nothing has been offered to Young Thug, as Young Thug has been getting into more trouble, as allegedly he's intimidating the snitches in the YSL case, as one of the new snitches have been identified. Sources claim that Young Thug is having enough of the snitching and is having it dealt with through secretive messages posted on Twitter. Now, it was announced early morning that a YSL member named Jaden Myrick admitted on the stand in the federal courtroom that he is a YSL member and that he was intimidating the snitches in the case that were only snitching against Young Thug. Jaden Myrick had to admit this to the feds, as they have hard-hitting evidence against him going after the snitch as well as the snitch's family. Now, the man snitching in YSL is known as YSL Woody, otherwise known as Lil Woody. Now, Lil Woody demanded safety for him and his family after he started started snitching on Young Thug, as Lil Woody allegedly stated during a snitching interview that Young Thug is, quote, a very dangerous person. If you cross him, he will get you and your family. Now, Lil Woody didn't only snitch on Young Thug either. Allegedly, Woody snitched on Lil Baby, as well as other members in YSL that are doing street activities. Now, with Lil Woody also being really close friends with other members currently arrested for RICO, he has an option to try to get other members to start snitching, as this was mentioned during an earlier court hearing.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
Now, the feds know that he's close with a few members in YSL, and allegedly has now turned more members of the team against Young Thug. As the evidence stacks up against Young Thug due to these snitches, his lawyer, however, just changed his music career forever, as this is something all Young Thug fans should now be aware of, as on October 27th, Young Thug's Twitter account released a tweet stating, "Jeffrey has reportedly cut ties with Young Thug." Now, an online lawyer put out a statement regarding on what this exactly means, so follow along closely. Now, Jeffrey Williams plays the role/character of Young Thug. The character name Young Thug is technically a brand, and it's not a real person. The brand Young Thug is owned by the record label 300 Entertainment and is used for entertainment purposes only. All lyrics used by the character Young Thug relates to no human being, as it's just for entertainment for music. With Young Thug being a character, not a real person, the actions and views made by the character in music lyrics, music videos, and videos online cannot reflect back onto the human Jeffrey Williams, the person, as he is contracted to play a character named Young Thug. Jeffrey Williams was a person portraying to be Young Thug on behalf of the company 300 Entertainment and the YSL business. Now, I know that sounds confusing, but that's exactly why Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, has the greatest lawyers in the United States. If you're still confused, look at it this way. A character in a movie breaks the law for the film. He's not going to go to jail right after they're done recording, because he's just playing a character. He's doing stuff in the movie for entertainment. That is exactly what Young Thug is doing in his lyrics. He's not making music about crimes that are actually happening. It's all just for entertainment. Now, a majority of the evidence against Young Thug is related and tied to the music that he creates, with many songs and lyrics of him dissing ops, explaining crimes, and so on. Jeffrey Williams had nothing to do with it. He was just contracted to play the role of somebody that is entertaining an audience. Now, they had to do this as the list of charges against Young Thug has gotten even longer due to the snitching, as Young Thug is now being charged with team involvement charges, narcotic charges, possession of firearm charges, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony charge, possession of a fully auto firearm, 3 separate charges of unlawful for person employed by or associated with criminal street activity charges, and then to top it off, Young Thug is being charged with the racketeer influence and corrupt organization, otherwise known as the RICO charge. However, here's where it gets even more concerning for Young Thug. As it was announced, Gunna's charges are being dropped as he pleaded guilty to a lot of charges to be released. Young Thug was trying to also be released, and this is where prosecutors rejected that immediately. Now, prosecutors were ready for this, as they ruined all chances of Young Thug's release on bond, as they brought up a new issue in the courtroom against Young Thug. A tweet was sent out on Young Thug's Twitter account. The tweet states, "I'm talking with my roommate, and we're wondering if you could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore." Now, what seems like a very innocent tweet turned very ugly, as here's Young Thug's lawyer defending him in the courtroom about the matter.
Williams is in a jail outside of Fulton County. There are 0 cell phones in that jail.
That last tweet that was sent out to Michael Phelps is recorded. It's been investigated by the sheriff of that county, and it was a conversation that's recorded between Mr. Williams and a member of his close friendships, that he asked the other person who has control of his Twitter account. That is not a reason to...
Well, this is part of the conversation, Mr. Steele, and you and others are going to need to have with your clients, because this is part of the state's concern. I mean...
That was an innocent... That's nothing bad. Asking somebody to tweet to Michael Phelps, "Can you swim 100 miles in the ocean?" That has nothing to do with intimidation. That ask you.
Well, if I can communicate through a family member or somebody else, then I can communicate something else.
Everything okay over there?
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, your family was concerned that something was going on. You're fine, right? Yes, I'm great. Okay, cool.
Now, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you believe that Gunna snitching on the court case, everyone in YSL, pleading guilty to all of these criminal charges? Will this affect Young Thug in the long run? Leave a like on the video if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to subscribe.